Hello YouTube, Ronan Kazi, or Diablo 4. We're doing the Capstone today. Today we're doing the level 70 Capstone. We are level 63 and 62. I'm with Sloth Moods. He's a necromancer with a great build. We've died a bunch of times. I am a druid. I have slowed this down so you can see in painstakingly detail what you need to do and not do. So I, at this point, have put on a lot of survivability. Part of my problem, you can see, is the mechanics of the boss. This is the second one that almost always kills me. And you can see I can barely get a heal off. Before I was dying right away. Here's a couple things that we learned. Druids and necromancers. There's Roxy. There's a difference between druid and necromancer in the amount of life they have. I don't think Sloth was aware of that. I have more armor but less health. He has more health and less armor. Just inherently, I think. And when I looked on my on my necromancer, it's in the armor. So part of the mechanic each time is to avoid. Don't do that, YouTube. Now you're going to see his build is pretty robust. At this point, I have like 70% or 78% damage reduction to mobs that are my level, but this mob is 8 levels above me. And so I do a lot of DPS, but not, and I do a lot of DPS to groups, but at this point, we just need me to be alive. And I died again. And maybe this isn't when I had the bear form on. This might be still when I was trying to run a beefier werewolf. To get the poison to heal myself so I could constantly heal. But you can see Sloth picks me up. So when do you stop? We had already failed a couple of times. So how do you know whether you should keep doing something or not? We ran into, I think I told you about the tribute video, which was to the, I didn't record the video. The tribute video was a video about the video that I didn't have. And that's where we just kept fighting and fighting, and we couldn't make any headway on one of the mobs. So when do you know when to quit? Oh, I'm going to die right there. Well, you know when you're quit, when you get the exact same results and you do the same thing and expect different results. So when we were doing it in that other thing, the mobs were 13, 15, and 13 levels above us. And no matter what we did, we were never going to kill a mob that had rabies because they would just out-heal our damage at that level. If we're going to wipe, this is normally when I say, YouTube, thank you. And if you could please subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, like, share, comment, and hit the notifications. Trying to get to 500. I want to have this more community focused. I know everyone says that. What I've said before is sometimes I'd like to do laptop reviews, use it for a month, and then give it away after the month. I need to be monetized to do that so I can buy the laptops and then give them away to you guys. Because I think that's the only real way to do a laptop review is to actually use it for a month. Now, there's a couple people that do something similar to that. And so those people aren't the people I'm calling out. I'm calling out all the people that get, they have 35,000 and blah, 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 a bunch of views and a bunch of followers. But they just do specs. And specs, who cares what the specs are? What does the machine really do? For example, you could have a machine that looks like it's pretty high powered, but because of the cooling, it might throttle. So you don't nearly get the power that's advertised. You have to use it for it to happen. So anyways, back to the battle. We're still going. So I'm pretty excited here. I have a self-heal. I get hit I heal back up. And part of the problem, this thing he does with those circles, that is a nut buster for me. Bye-bye, Ronan. And so Sloth is going to have to take it down. Come on, Sloth, you can do it. You can see it gets really hectic. Sloth's at 50%. He's doing it. So you see the 4 segments, so each one is 20%. So he's down about 12%. No, YouTube. No, this is Capstone to get to torment level. Now what ensues now, which I'm not going to share with you, is complete and utter chaos. When you fail, everyone, and we failed a lot now at this point, we got so close. So how do you know if you should go on? The difference between this and the other time is, look, we got so close. We got to about 10 or 12% of the boss. I'm obviously the weakest link in here, so I am going to eventually go into werebear mode and pick, 3 defensive skills, because if I can just stay alive, it will help. But we're having a pretty good discussion. I'm not going to say heated would be giving it too much, but we had a really good conversation. Sloth, we had done this a bunch. He was ready to call it a day. He said, if we come back tomorrow, we can do it. We'll be higher levels and all that kind of stuff. And so he started looking at my build and my armor. And one of the things about Diablo 4, you can't just switch builds very easily because you have your Paragon and all that stuff. Eventually, I'm going to change my Paragon to the werebear. And for this one thing to get to level, the torment level, I'm going to change everything around. Previously, we had talked about this when he was doing it. And when he's in this build, he's nearly unkillable. He was like, maybe I should change my build. I said, no, your build's great. We're just fighting mobs that are level 13 above us for him and 15 for me. We just can't do as much DPS. We're just at too much of a disadvantage. So he's trying to offer me the same thing at this point. Don't change your build. I know that you can see I kept dying. I'm obviously the weakest link. I know that we should keep pursuing this, because when you get that close, it's just a few things that go your way would help. Part of the problem is I don't know the fights. First time I'm seeing the fight, I don't exactly know what the mechanic is. I don't know exactly what's going to happen and when it's going to happen, when the boss is going to shoot out, where he's going to shoot out, and all that kind of stuff. But we're talking about it. Pretty lively conversation. And so how do you know whether to give up or keep fighting? There's no shame in withdrawing from the battlefield if you're outmatched. And so when you're on a team and one person is not committed, but you think you can make it, what's the point? What benefit are we going to get? Well, this is the essence of why I wanted to do a podcast, videos, YouTube channel, whatever, was this scenario right here. And for Roxy, so everyone could get to know Roxy. Because this is the heart and matter of everything. When people are doing well and they're winning, it's easy to tell you what build to play and all this other rot. What's hard to do is when you're facing failure after failure, where to go next and to keep trying. And so I would submit this video to you. I'd submit this situation to you. This is the crux of the matter. This is you and your spouse. This is you and your loved one. This is you and a child. This is you and your boss. This is you and your person that works for you. You're at an impasse. And you want to move forward, and how do you do it? Sloth at this point just saying, we can do it tomorrow. He's absolutely right. Obviously, if we come back and we're this close, if we come back tomorrow and we're higher levels, we're going to do it. But sometimes it's better to try and get it when you need to do it. It's an intangible thing. How do I know that we're going to do this? Well, it's the experience of not quitting before. It's the experience of not giving up before. That's one of the reasons you're playing this game. One of the things you should take away is when you overcome stuff. Now, this doesn't equate to you have to do a spreadsheet and it's 10:30 at night and blah, blah, blah. We're not talking about that. This is, in the big scheme of things, this is nothing. In fact, YouTube, a physicist would have you believe that this was always going to happen, that we were always going to beat this instance. And I tell them that they're full of crap because that's not how the world works. From the Big Bang to this point right here, there's no connection. We're two people now trying to convince the other one why we should do something else. Is it worth busting up our friendship for this? No. We have a young friendship that's, we met here on YouTube. We're talking. Is it worth trashing? No, it's not. But we're close. And I don't know Sloth that well. So I don't know if this is going to be a pain in the butt or whatever. He's still, I don't know if I taped everything. But this is the point. I'm going to say it again. Subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe. This is the crux of the matter. This is everything. Talk to me, not when things are going well. Talk to me when things are going not so well. And how do you respond to that? That seems a little football, rah-rah football coach. But it's one of the things that you need to know and that you need to decide for yourself. You know from your experience whether you can make it or not. It's like in the division when everyone wipes except for you and you can hold the team together. Now, after I've saved the day a number of times, I just start expecting me to save the day, which means I play a little bit better. I'm not dying as fast. I'm still panicking, but I'm staying out of the area. So is this the time, YouTube, that we're going to do it? YouTube, I have some good news and some bad news. Good news is, I appreciate all of you. Bad news, YouTube. The bad news is,